From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, a Circle man was arrested after crashing his vehicle and paralyzing the passenger inside. 25-year-old Nolan Peterson is charged with first-degree assault, DUI, and driving with a suspended license in connection with the May 26th crash.
According to an affidavit, Peterson flipped the vehicle on a turn, causing both occupants to be airlifted to Fbx Memorial Hospital for substantial injuries. Peterson claimed he was the designated driver for the evening, but troopers found him to have a 0.121% breath alcohol content hours after the accident.
His passenger, Derek Henry, claimed he told Peterson to slow down. He is currently in Fbx Memorial Hospital with a vertebrae injury that has left him paralyzed from the neck down. He will be transported to Anchorage for surgery and further treatment.
Now, Peterson was arraigned in Fairbanks District Court this afternoon.
And in other news this evening, a juvenile suspect is in custody after an alleged string of four-wheeler thefts in the North Pole area. According to troopers, they received initial information as to a stolen four-wheeler and were able to recover it. Now, they later received an additional report about a second stolen four-wheeler, which they say provided them with information about a potential suspect and yet another stolen four-wheeler in the area. They were able to recover that third four-wheeler and arrest the juvenile suspect in connection with the string of thefts. He was taken to Fairbanks Youth Facility.
One of the busiest roads in Fairbanks is getting a facelift. Stage 1 of the Airport Way Preventative Maintenance Project took a more visible step Tuesday night. The project scope includes repaving existing roadway surfaces on Airport Way from the Steese-Richardson intersection to Pegger Road. This includes frontage roads, signage and striping, as well as updates to signal lights will also be performed within the corridor. Milling and paving operations will alternate throughout the project, with all paving slated to be completed by July 15th, though striping and signage work will continue into August. The work is being done from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday through Friday nights to best accommodate motorists and businesses along the corridor.
There will always be through traffic maintained on Airport Way east to west. We will have to close down some of the frontage roads to one-way traffic and some of the intersections on the minor side streets as we pave through. It's anytime we work in an urban environment with all the turning movements and signalized intersections, it's a challenge to keep traffic flowing and still have enough room to actually get the work done. And that's why we really do appreciate the public exercising a little patience and working with us as we complete this challenging project.
The fire management team lifted the evacuation order this morning on the Kenai Peninsula for the Funny River Road from mile 7 to the end of that road. Now, homeowners near the road remain under an evacuation alert, which means they should be ready to leave again if the fire gets worse in that area. Residents of Funny River Road were evacuated over the weekend. Many left with just a few necessities and haven't been back home since. Some are staying with friends or family in the area. Others have spent the past few days sleeping in shelters, RVs, or tents. A few local hotels opened their doors to the evacuees.
A federal judge heard oral argument yesterday in the lawsuit regarding whether or not Cook Inlet should be in a federal salmon management plan. Alaska has managed its own salmon since statehood, and neither party is questioning that. But the United Cook Inlet Drift Association and Cook Inlet Fishermen's Fund, who brought the lawsuit forward in February of 2013, want federal oversight of salmon management. The state of Alaska is also participating in the suit as an intervener on the side of the federal defendants. Federal management, just oversight. The judge said at the end of the hearing that he'll issue a written decision in the case.
The state is investigating the malfunction of a popular slingshot ride that left two riders trapped above the ground. Owned by Thrills Unlimited, the ride called the Ejection Seat is a popular attraction at the Tanana Valley State Fair each year. Now, last week, one of the men riding hit the structure and suffered what authorities called facial injuries. The second was left hanging some 50 feet off the ground for nearly 45 minutes until rescuers got him down. Now, the Mechanical Inspection Section of the Alaska Department of Labor and Workforce Development says they will be completely inspecting the ride before it will be put back into operation.
So, Daryl, that's pretty scary, actually. I mean, that was footage of us just riding that,
right,
just to know that we were on that
right.
a few years ago.
Sure.
All right. When we come back this weekend, residents can help local efforts to fight diabetes.
And we tell you what's happening at Pioneer Park. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. Nearly 680,000 Alaskans live with diabetes, and this weekend residents can help local efforts to fight the disease. The American Diabetes Association will host the annual Tour de Cure bike ride Saturday morning at the Mushers Hall. There are courses for beginning riders and expert cyclists that take participants across Fairbanks. The fundraiser will support nationwide research and help local kids living with diabetes attend a health camp. One of the organizers says it's a special event and drivers may see the riders this weekend.
One of the most unique things about our bike ride is that we have type 1 and type 2 diabetics that come out and ride for diabetes. So that's really powerful to see them out there with their red jerseys. So if you see riders on the road, please give them a honk and encourage them, and they're out there riding for a really good cause.
To find more information about the Tour de Cure or to register early, check out their website at diabetes.org/Fairbanks Tour. We've posted a link on webcenter11.com.
We told you last week about the Fort Wainwright soldiers getting ready to climb Mount McKinley. Monty Bowen has more about the climb in this week's military report.
The first of 2 U.S. Army Alaska climbing teams flew to Talkeetna last week to start their climb. McKinley is the tallest peak in North America. Soldiers, primarily from the 1st Stryker Brigade, 25th Infantry Division, are testing their cold weather, high altitude, and mountaineering skills against the 20,320-foot mountain.
None of the soldiers have had any real mountaineering experience, and our new goal is to be trained in all types of ocean mobility and mountaineering. USARAC
is the Army's foremost cold weather and mountainous fighting force and is capable of a variety of mission types, including search and rescue, defense support to civil authorities, humanitarian aid and disaster response, and security operations.
A lot of people are skeptical about why it actually applies to what we do, but the soldiers and the units in USARAC are faced with really unique conditions. True deep cold for a long time every year, and common Denali, these soldiers are going to live in unheated tents for like 20 days. They're going to go to 20,000 feet and they're not going to see a heater the whole time, so they're going to learn Arctic and cold weather skills on a level that no one else in their unit is going to have, and they're going to be able to bring that depth of knowledge back and teach guys how to not rely on the heaters.
The team plans to reach the summit by June 11th. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
Well, the weather outside is beautiful and outdoor activities are in full swing. We continue with our summer coverage of what is happening at Pioneer Park this week with a look at what you and your family can look forward to doing right at that park.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of What's Happening at Pioneer Park. Now the park is in full swing after opening events happened last weekend. This week we're going to check with park manager Jason Avery to see what we can expect that's going on here. So come on, let's go check it out. So Jason, last weekend was successful and this week you have some more stuff coming up, so let me know what's going on.
Well, on June 4th, next Wednesday, we'll be having Fairbanks Day. It's our 7th annual. We're going to be starting off with kids games and activities in the playground area of the park from 12 to 5. We're going to have a bunch of nonprofit organizations here to talk about what's happening in Fairbanks. And then we're going to move over to Gold Rush Town in the evening. We're going to have a Battle of the Bands up on the Nenana. Yeah, up on the Nenana with a kind of a street fair atmosphere. And I urge people to go to fairbanksalaska.org to vote for their favorite band, and we're going to see who's going to rock the Nenana.
So what time does this all happen at? When can people come out?
Well, 1 o'clock we start in the afternoon, and then we're going to finish things up around 8 o'clock at night.
Wow, so that's awesome. So everybody come on out, check out the Battle of the Bands and Fairbanks Day. Thanks, Jason.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Today's vendor spotlight is on souvlaki, specializing in Greek food, baklava, spinach pie, and of course, souvlaki.
So as always, there's a lot going on inside our community park. So make sure you come out and check out Fairbanks Day, all the music, all the fun, because that's what's happening this week at Pioneer Park.
All right, Joe, so even though school is out for everybody, we're still talking high school sports, huh?
Yeah, that's always a very interesting thing in Alaska. Like, school is out, but people are still playing for the high school.
That's how we do it.
And we have a preview of 2 state-bound soccer teams and a softball team. They punched their ticket to state as well. All that and more coming up next. Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook in the sports seat once again with your Wednesday sports. The ASAA First National Bank State Soccer Tournament starts tomorrow, and 2 interior teams are in the field. Ladies first, the Lathrop Malamutes make their first appearance in the state tournament since 2007 after a 1-0 win over West Valley. It would turn out to be the MAC title game. The Mutes finished the year 9-0-2 overall and 6-0-2 in the MAC. Lathrop will face the Soldotna Stars, the Northern Lights Conference champions. The Stars are also undefeated with 15-0 overall record and 12-0 in the NLC. The Malamutes do like their matchup, though. Lathrop has an offense that can score at any time with Carly Fitzgerald, Alexis Shipman, and Savannah Garrett. They're also confident in the defense that has allowed only 2 goals all season, which features sophomore goalie Michaela Triplehorn, who has 9 shutouts this season. The young team is excited about their opportunity, and they don't feel too much pressure going into the biggest games of their young high school careers.
I think for the most part, our team is very confident going in, and I think as long as everyone's healthy, we'll be very strong and come out strong in the first game.
We really worked hard indoors, and Anchorage had grass before us, so we were still inside, so we were working even more harder before we can come on the grass, and it was really cool that we made it.
They've gotten the job done all year long, and we're hoping that continues down in state because that's going to be a major factor. We're going to see a lot more pressure than most of the teams that we faced earlier, and we've just got to hold our own.
And the West Valley boys soccer team will be the other interior team in the state soccer tournament. The Wolfpack will be facing defending champion South in their opening game. The South Anchorage Wolverines were second in the CIC this year, and the Wolverines shut out West Valley 3-0 back in late April. But since then, West Valley finished 9-3-2 and 7-0-1 in the MAC Conference, winning their 7th region title in 8 years. West Valley will count on their defense and timely offense led by Braden DeWeese and Connor Smith. They allowed 12 goals all year, and goalie Chris Wheat, he has 6 shutouts in conference play. If West Valley wins, they'll face Diamond or Juneau. Now, Diamond won the CIC this year, and Juneau is the SEC champions. Diamond and Juneau also won the 2012 and 2011 state titles. So the Wolfpack seem to be in the group of death, but they're optimistic they can make some noise since they've played South before earlier in the season, and they scrimmaged against a men's team last night to simulate South's play.
I got all the confidence in the world, these guys, and you know, we can kind of play the underdog role, and we can kind of put that forward and say, hey, nobody thinks we can do anything, and maybe we can, go down there and get an upset.
Because we're a sort of a younger team, we've had time throughout the season to advance and build up our style of play to meet what Howard wants, and I think that'll help us in our rematch against South.
We're pretty confident. We've managed to hold these last couple teams without letting them score. So I think if we can go down there and pretty much perform the same, we might come out with a win.
And last night at the South Davis softball fields, 2 MAC teams met in a rematch, the Hutchinson Hawks and North Pole Patriots. The Hawks are the only team to beat North Pole in conference play this year, and the Patriots, they remembered that. North Pole led 10-0 in the game, led by rising sophomore Carissa Ramos. She didn't walk anyone and gave up just 1 hit in 5 innings. She's actually a rising junior. Ramos was a force offensively as well, going 2 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. Paige Shimura had the big bat, going 2 for 4 as well with a home run, a double, and 2 RBIs. North Pole wins 12-0, clinching the #1 seed in the MAC Conference with a 10-1 record. It's almost a totally different team from a year ago with just 2 returners. This young, versatile team, mostly of freshmen and sophomores, or 11-5 overall. Ramos talks about her best game as a pitcher and her younger sister, Allison, as the catcher.
Well, my sister's the catcher, so I kind of just think of it as we're in the backyard playing, and I kind of zone out everything else except for like the batters and stuff, but it's kind of just like her and I.
Yeah, they're a really positive team. They like to have fun, and it's taken some adjusting on my part too, getting to know their personalities and working with that, and they have great attitudes. They bounce back really fast, and they've just kept that resilient attitude, and that's what's been getting us through.
And also at the South Davis Fields last night, Lathrop sweeps Monroe in a non-conference doubleheader with a couple of shutouts themselves. Lathrop won 4-0 in Game 1 and 8-rip in Game 2. Kelly Reagan led the way, striking out 8 batters in each game. 5 Malamutes had RBIs, including Diana Wilson, who had 2 hits as well, and Selena Maxwell's triple went for an RBI. And also last night in high school baseball at Groudon Memorial Park, Monroe defeated Delta 15-5 in MAC baseball. Scooter Bynum showed why he was the state Gatorade Player of the Year, going 3 for 4 with a 2-run home run, 2 triples, scored 3 runs, and he had 3 RBIs. That's the stat line there. Wendell Standing added 2 hits and 2 ribbies as well. The win brings the Rams to 4-4. And the last note for tonight, the Region 6 Championships in Gymnastics. High school gymnastics will be tomorrow at 5 o'clock at Gymnastics Inc. We'll have coverage of that and more this week. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Time to take a look at the weather. Mike Schultz with you once again. A beautiful day across the interior. Lots of sunshine, no smoke to really see, though things are looking pretty good. And we're looking at warmer temperatures for tomorrow and Friday for sure. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Photograph night taken by Nancy Hummel and her husband. They were coming up the Alcan Highway and captured these young bisons having a go at it there. A nice photograph, and as always, if you have one you want to share with us, by all means send to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Here's your numbers right now at our almanac. As you can see, 65 the normal high, 68 for the high today. The normal low 42, last night's low 43. Record high 90 degrees in 1947. What a hot day that was. In contrast, 30 the overnight record low in 1934. Sunrise and sunset 20 hours and 17 minutes. A gain of 6 minutes from yesterday. Our satellite and radar is still showing the winds coming out of the southwest at the upper levels, and again helping to escort some moisture into the interior, but not really a whole lot to say about that. The good news is the rain is falling, continuing to fall across the fires over the Kenai Peninsula, so we're happy about that. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, it's clear to partly cloudy skies over southeast Alaska, a little rain around the Anchorage Bowl. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies at Kodiak, nice up and down the west coast, all the way from Cold Bay to Nome, and partly cloudy skies at Barrow, 26 degrees there. Fort Yukon, 66, also partly cloudy. Lower 48 weather, this storm system we were talking about last night is really cranking up and dropping lots of rain. East of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they had 11 inches of rain in the last 24 hours, so a lot of flooding going on there, and the rains continue to fall, especially around places like Houston, where they had almost 7 inches of rain last night. The weekend forecast calling for more rain across the deep south, storms across the northern plains, where Montana tonight has severe weather going on there, not too far from Great Falls. And there's your Houston, Texas. A slow-moving storm brought almost 7 inches of rain Monday into Tuesday. Wow. Okay, back to Alaska, where it's a lot calmer. Tomorrow, we're looking at snow showers for Barrow and rain showers for Nome, mostly cloudy skies at Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, it looks pretty good. In fact, skies will slowly clear with warmer temperatures at Delta Junction, Healy, and Fairbanks. And as far as the overall outlook for southeast Alaska, partly cloudy skies at Juneau, lots of sunshine for Ketchikan. Out to the southwest, showers for Cold Bay and Kodiak with light rain expected at Bethel. And around the Anchorage Bowl, the smoke will be mainly around the Homer area with just showers for Anchorage and Valdez. And one more time to take a look at our allergy report update. As you can see here, no change. It continues with trees at high levels, mold, weeds, and grass at just basically non-existent levels, so that's good news there. Here's your forecast for tonight. Scattered clouds with winds diminishing, 45 for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, again, looking at warmer temperatures, 71 degrees and partly cloudy skies, and even warmer on Friday, 74 for the high, then cooling down a little bit, but still above normal for this time of year in the low to mid 60s each day. And overnight lows will also be very comfortable in the low 40s to mid 40s, and no precipitation expected. But the good news is the rain is falling on the Kenai Peninsula, helping to douse that fire, we hope.
Good news.
Very good. Yeah, and relatively no smoke here, at least.
Exactly.
It was beautiful today.
It was really nice.
It was very good. Good way to enjoy our summer. It is officially summer yet.
Is it?
Summer?
I don't know.
I thought it was in June.
It is
Not
June.
yet, not yet.
Yeah, our summer's in June.
It's not officially summer yet?
I think this year is June 3rd.
June 3rd, definitely.
Oh, that's next week. That's
Yeah.
the day that
Yeah.
NHL draft.
That's right.
We'll have more on that. Very,
All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is coming up next.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webster11.com.
And with that, we'll all say good night and hope you join us back here again at 11.